So back in '03, then girlfriend, now wife, and I came to Atlanta. I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to start doing what I loved, working on Mercedes out of my garage at our apartment complex. And at the same time, while trying to do things reasonably, designed my own little Web 1.0 website, a little Dreamweaver copy and paste here and there. And in addition to offering our services, I had a page of items wanted, things looking for, old literature for AMGs, anything related to Mercedes, really, and of course, AMGs, Hammers, whatever, what have you, wide bodies, everything. One day, about 2006-ish, I get an email from a gentleman, Alonzo, if I remember his name correctly, reached out to me from California stating that he had a hammer and he was looking to sell it, and he thought I would be a good fit given what he'd seen of me on the forums and the like and all the rest of it. He took it apart, and it's been sitting in his garage for some time, and now he needs to move it along, needs to sell it. I said, okay, well that's awesome. I said, why do you need to let it go? He said, well, I from Mexico, and the woman I married to get here, and I'm now separated from, took a series of loans from some rather unsultry types, and now they're knocking at my door because she has also disappeared. And I think it prudent to go ahead and pack up and leave and go back to Mexico. So I'm letting my things go. I found you on the internet. You seem like someone who's genuinely passionate about them and interested. So I think it could be, you're the right person to get it and bring it back. So in talking with Alonzo, after we verified it was what he said it was, I asked him what he wanted. He gave me the price of $4,500, which at the time was cheap, but given the reference of the fact you could get fully functional running cars in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, wasn't that far out of the realm of reasonable, especially considering the car was just utterly in pieces and no one wanted to work on those engines, which is one of the reasons they sort of appealed to me. Everyone said, no, no, no. And when I tell me no, I got to go find out why. So something innate inside of me. And he starts sending me pictures of, the interior half out of the car, the engine completely apart, like, pistons out, crank out, heads apart. I was a bit worried how he disassembled it to begin with. But then he shows me all these beautiful templates he's made out of everything under the sun, cardboard, styrofoam, you name it. But everything is labeled. It's all numbered. It's all very nicely done. So I was genuinely impressed with that. Long story short, he said, I need to get out of here in a week. So if you want it, send me money now and go from there. So I wired the man. Magically, 2 weeks later on a transport, here shows this anthracite hammer in my hands, and it was all there, plus a few extra parts, which was kind of nice. For a long time, the car sat because I was starting the shop, the business, and as you know, working on your own things always kind of comes second. But after a while, I did get the engine back together, then got it up and running, and it was using it a little bit here and there, but the body wasn't done, the interior wasn't done, it wasn't really a finished project. Then I got a call from a gentleman at one of the major auction houses, and he said he had a fellow he was a private buyer for who was looking for a hammer. Would I be interested in selling? The next few weeks, talking back and forth, we eventually settled on a price about 100 times what I originally paid for it. Granted, the market had moved exponentially since then for all the cars. I didn't feel to be out of line, and now in hindsight, 2-3 years later, it was cheap. So here we are. So it's all good though. At the time, it was great, and I was fortunate to have a line on another car that was sitting quietly-ish over on the West Coast, and the gentleman had bought that some years ago, and he had not paid a lot for it. So I made an offer to him that was great to him and great to me, and net. Still have 3 hammers, so it was a good time. It was a good time. So as the days went on, got the coupe, got the wagon, and folks were aware that the sedan was there. I'd sort of purposely withheld it from the internet. Like I think there's one picture of it out there when I first got it of just like the back corner, and that's it. The car doesn't exist otherwise. I did let it sort of be known though that if someone was to come to us and want something, it would be the sedan that would be available, and that in order for it to go, it would need to be a price that would make me turn my head hard and really just set a record for the mark. So this is where we at the time what we came to. But I always sort of used the argument that you look at the old magazine, World's Fastest Cars, and it had the silver Hammer and F40 and Isadera and 959 and all that. And I said, look at this cover. Every single one of these cars is $1 million car, except one. And it's one of the rarest on the cover on top of it. So tell me what part of the equation is missing. And I think finally we're getting there, which is nice. It's nice to see it recognized. Sort of precludes me from getting more in some ways. But at the same time, it's not bad. We basically had the car completely apart, engine back out, subframe out, transmission out, interior completely out. So she sat, did get the engine back in it, so it was running, could move under its own power. Whole car needed to be repainted as well, and that was a major undertaking because there was some body damage. The front spoiler had been destroyed, getting moved around, before I got it. So I had fortunately sourced another one, period correct, and had to prep all that. But dealing with old urethane is always fun. Got it all done, got the whole car painted, everything back in order. I can't begin to tell how many hours. We kind of stopped keeping track after a while. There's just no point. As it came together really, really, really well. Everywhere took it, shook it down, worked great. We got to the point where it was good. Everything was running a bit behind because supplies for a number of things became difficult. So the timing did get dragged out a little longer than we would have otherwise liked. Every aspect of the car received an obscene amount of attention. In the end, though, my foreman and I both, we were very, very happy with how it worked. The fellow who bought the car actually sent, I guess, one of his fellows down to come and pick it up. And he picked it up in Georgia and drove it all the way back to Virginia, and had a good go of it. I think the blower motor quit on the way, but it's not broken when I don't have it. It's hard to tell. It was an awesome car. We set it up pretty aggressively. I had been told that basically the car would be driven hard and used, possibly with another friend of the gentleman who purchased it. He also had a Hammer. They were planning to go out and quote unquote run. So, it had track pads, aggressive exhaust, the alignment was set up about as aggressively as you could with, what the car had available. And it was genuinely a lot of fun to drive.
When you get a ticket, no matter where it happens, it's more important than ever to fight every one. And the perfect partner in that fight is the Ticket Clinic. When you get a ticket, you're facing costly insurance premium increases, points on your license, fines, risk of suspension, jail time, and they can help you avoid all of that. They've got offices in Florida and in California, but they can help you fight a ticket through their network of attorneys no matter where in the United States you get one. You can text a picture of your ticket to 305-305, or you can check them out now at the link in the description below. So thank them for their support of VINwiki, of CarTrek, and fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.